Hi there, a very good evening and warm welcome from IELTSMaterial.com. Today we are going to discuss a very typical question from the section 2 of listening, that is map labeling. This is your trainer Kritika with yet another session from the question of the day series, here to address all your queries, here to give you tips and tricks to score that desired band of 9. All of our viewers who are new here, who have joined us for the very first time, do not forget to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss on any of our interactive sessions that are there every day live at 6 p.m. So let's see what do we have here to discuss today. So here today, actually, we're going to discuss about the map labeling. So how many of you know what a map labeling is? Let me see in the answers. Who all have joined us today? Okay. Hi, Muktadir. Hi, Kusum. Hello. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to answer all your queries today. Okay, so we are actually going to discuss the map labeling. But before that, don't forget one thing that I would like to address for all of you who have joined us today for the first time. After this session, do visit a video where our trainer Sakshi has beautifully explained the do's and don'ts of all of the things that you must remember while the audio is being played for a better understanding of the listening module as a whole. Okay. So here we are basically going to jump onto the map labeling part. Let's see what all we have. So here, firstly, we must know what a map labeling is. So students, actually here you will be given a map. Let's say this is a map. Ignore my bad drawing though. Okay. And here you will be given some gaps like gap 1, gap 2 is here, gap 3 is here. Okay. So you will be given these gaps, and what is your job? Your job is to listen to the audio and you have to answer. Now there could be two situations from you which you have to answer the question. The first could be from where you have to select from a given set of options. So certain options are given to you and you have to answer from them. The next could be from where you actually don't have the options. You have to answer from your end. You have to listen to the audio and you have to answer. Okay. And remember one thing, that not all the options that are given are used. So be careful, be vigilant when the audio is played. Okay. Let's move further. Let's see. So one major thing when it comes to map labeling students is that you must understand your directions. So what directions do we know? Our directions are north, south, west, and east. So do I know that all of you would be like, okay, we know our directions, but trust me, this is one major part where we lack. So when the audio tells us you have to move to the east direction, we forget which is the east direction. We forget which is the west direction. So just to recap all of those things, this is your northeast, southwest, your northeast, your southeast, your southwest, your northwest. So take a look on this, memorize this. Today, the question that we are going to do is going to use all of it. Okay. Also, there are certain vocabulary students that we must know when it comes to map labeling. The first is that you have, like, I think very often heard to is go straight or go straight ahead, which means you have to move forward like we are doing in this app. Okay. Know your left, know your right. Do not get confused with the left and right. This is your left, this is the right. Take the first left, take the first right. This is also very much used. First left means this, as if there is in the image. Then second left means this. The next is turn back, go back, or U-turn. All of those mean the same thing. Okay. And next we move on to on the left side. So like this car is on the left side, this car is on the right side. So remember this also, your left side, which is the left side, which is the right side. And one very significant part is your clockwise and your anti-clockwise direction. So I will tell you in a very layman language, in the direction in which the clock moves, that is this direction. This is the clockwise direction, and the direction that is opposite to this is called the anti-clockwise direction, or also known as the counterclockwise direction. I hope all of this vocabulary is clear to you. so that we can move forward with some more vocabulary. Let's see what do we have here. We have go past. You might have heard this a lot of time. Go past this building. So going past the building means this. The bank. Can you see the bank? The bank is here. The bank is at or on the corner. So whenever the audio says that something is at the corner, now what do you need to decide which corner is the audio describing? Is it the left corner, the right corner, the northeast corner, the southeast corner? Which corner? You must know. Then the next thing is to do around the corner. Whenever the audio say go around the corner, this is what it means. Also, there are certain prepositions that we must know when it comes to map labeling. You might have heard saying, okay, this is located opposite to this. So what they mean that time is that school is opposite to the bank, the mall is across the main street, the bank is next to the school. This is next to the school. This is opposite to the mall. The pool is behind the school. Okay. So once we are actually clear up with all of the vocabulary that are here, the next thing is to jump on to some tips and tricks. So let's see what tips and tricks can we do here. Okay, the very first thing is to read. Now you will say, okay, everywhere we have to read, but what to read here? What to read in map labeling? So the first thing is to actually read the instructions, or you can say the question. The instructions might have, you can say some options. If there are options, okay, no problem. If the instruction says there is a word count, if the word count is there, make sure you do not exceed your word count. If any way you are exceeding the word count, you are going to lose your marks. You are not going to be marked for that. The next thing that you have to do is you have to read the question flow, the flow of the question. For example, what I am saying that the gaps are always in a flow. Like you have to look onto where is the first gap, where is the second gap, where is the third gap. And the advantage of doing this would be that the audio will always follow the flow of the question. So what I mean is you will always get the answer for the first gap first, the second gap then, third gap then. So always follow the flow of the question. Read the map. What is the map about? Is it of a hospital? Is it of a street, a cafe, a building? What is it? So read your map properly. Read your options if your options are there. Do not forget to read on your options. Okay. So you'll have a clue of what all the audio is going to say. And then read for any further clues. So your maps will most probably always give you some clues. Students, what actually we need to do here is we have to look for those clues. Those clues could be in the form of, say, an N could be mentioned, an E is there, a W is there. So what does this mean? A north, an east, west. So if any of these symbols is there like around the map anywhere, you must mark your map with north, south, east, west on a prior basis, because the audio is most probably going to use these directions to navigate you. Okay, so these are all the things that you must read. Your question for word count, your options, your map, what is the map describing, the flow of the question you must know, and look for some further clues if it's there. The next major thing to remember is your starting point. What is your starting point? If you actually miss on this thing, you are going to lose your map labeling. You must know where the actually point is starting, where are you starting from. You must know this. So a lot of time the map will have something called an entrance. Okay, if there is an entrance, most probably you're going to enter from there. So that's not a problem. That's not a problem. If there is no entrance, then you will have to pay attention when the audio is starting. They are going to tell you from where to begin. It could be from the park. It could be from the cafe. This is very rare cases, but you might get them. Okay. So once you have decided and done all of these things, the last thing is your prediction. So anticipation is one main thing on which all your listening module works. So once you actually anticipate the answer, what the answer could be, is it a cafe, is it a street? Once you are done with that, it will be very easy for you to actually move on further or anticipate or get the correct answer. Okay, let's see what comes next here. Okay, so do you see this women doing something? Can anybody guess what is it? Yes, this is called active listening. I have a really bad handwriting, but okay, active listening. So this is called active listening. Can anybody guess what actually is active listening? Active listening is when you are not just listening for the sake of listening. You are listening to actually absorb information. You want to understand what the audio is all about. So this is what is required in your map labeling. You understand, you be vigilant when the audio is played so that you don't miss on any of your answer. Okay, so once we have discussed all our tips, tricks, we have revised all of these things, let's see and let's try and apply this in a question. Okay, let's move forward. Let's see what we have here. Okay, the very first part that I told was that you have to read the question. Read the question, let's read it together. The plan has 5 gaps. Choose the correct letters A to H, move it into a suitable place on the map. So here we are decided we have no word count, so no word limit. We don't have to worry about that. That's perfect. Then read the map. What is the map about? Can you see? Yes, this map is of a museum, and that too of the first floor of a museum. So we know what the map is about. We know what to do. We have to choose the correct letters from this option and put it in the right blank. So one thing to remember here, guys, is that not all options are going to be used, but the audio is going to speak or take the name of all of these places. So you have to be vigilant, you have to be attentive and get the correct answers for yourself so that you don't get confused. Okay. The next thing is to follow the flow of the question. So where do you see your first blank? Okay, yes, here we see our first blank, that is 16th. Then we see 17th. Then we see our 18th blank. Then we have our 19th, and then as it's 20. Once we have read the question, we have read our options, we have seen our map, we have followed the flow of the questions. What next? Any clues? Any clues? Do you see any clues around the map? Any symbol of any direction? Anything like that? Because I do. Here, yes, we have a direction called N north direction. So most probably the audio is going to describe and use these directions in the recording. So what is imperative here is that you mark your map on a prior basis. North, which is the direction though? Do you know? Okay, east. Yes. This is your south. This is your west. So we have mapped all our directions now. What next? We have to look where can we start. What is the starting point? Do we see a main entrance? Yes, we do. Here it is a main entrance. It is towards the south. Okay, so this is our main entrance. Most probably this is going to be our starting point. Okay, once we have gone through all of these things, we have to make sure that we understand the audio, we listen to it carefully, and we answer our questions. Okay, so I'm just going to play the audio. Try and be attentive, stay vigilant, try to answer all of these things. Remember the vocabulary, remember the clockwise direction, the anti-clockwise direction. Remember your north, south, east, west. Okay, let's play the audio. Let's see how many do we get correct.
Now listen and answer questions 16 to 20.
As we enter the museum from the south by going through the main entrance, as I said before, you'll find the cloakroom immediately on your left, and on your right is the museum shop. They have an outstanding range of postcards and souvenirs in there, and it's well worth a visit, but perhaps best left till you're on your way out. Then you'll know exactly what you want. The big room to the right of the entrance, behind the shop, is the reference library. Straight ahead of you, yes, the huge circular room is the main reading room. If you decide to go in there, please keep noise to a minimum out of respect for the writers and scholars who use it for their research. The reading room is surrounded by what is known as the Great Court. Indeed, it used to be an open courtyard, but you will see that it is now completely covered by a magnificent glass and steel structure. If you walk around the Great Court in a clockwise direction, on the west side, you'll see the entrance to the Long Hall of Ancient Egypt, which has an amazing collection of Egyptian antiquities. The gallery behind the reading room, directly opposite the entrance, is devoted to China and Southeast Asia. Here you'll see Chinese civilization explored chronologically from the Neolithic period through to the 21st century. The restrooms for both men and women are located in the northeast corner of this floor, but don't worry, there are others available on the floors above. Another huge gallery extends along the eastern side of the courtyard, and this is given over to Greece and Rome. The sculptures in this section are absolutely spellbinding. Take your time looking at all the exhibits, and when you're ready to view what's on the next floor, take the magnificent marble staircase by the entrance.
Okay, so listeners and viewers, did you get the answers? Do anyone want to try the first one, the 16th gap? Do we have any answers for that? 16th? Okay, I see no tries. So, okay, I'll give you the answer for 16th. It is the museum shop. Okay, let's move on to the 17th. The 17th one, the audio says, it is to be the big room to the right of the main entrance. It is the reference library. So that is also one important thing. The 18th, any guesses for that? Okay, I see no guesses, no interactive people today with us. Is it the case? No problem. We move forward. So this is the ancient Egypt. The 19th answer is your, any guesses? Still no? Okay, the 19th is your restroom. So this is where the audio says, to the northeast corner, you will find your restrooms. The 20th one and the last one is your Greek and Roman sculptures. So these are your answers. I hope it is a bit clearer than before. Of course, this is something that requires a lot of practice, students. I do understand that. Tips and tricks do help you, but don't forget to practice from your own end so that you don't feel anxious, you don't feel nervous while doing a map labeling. I hope I've made it a bit easier for you, a bit clearer than before. So
Now listen and
The reading room is surrounded by...
A very important thing, and I'm very excited for this news. So a very exciting news for everybody is that we are launching our free live classes from tomorrow every day at 5 p.m. IST. Don't forget to enroll yourself in the courses from our website. All of the links you will find in our description box. Thank you so much for joining in for the session today. It was great having all of you guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead. This is your trainer Kritika signing off for the day. I'll be here tomorrow 6 p.m. live and with another session from the Question of the Day series. Thank you so much for joining in.